Hello. Currently looking at Viña del Mar, this region, northern Chile, coastal region, but most of the region in Chile coastal is. There has been a lot of tragedy and terrible news coming out of these wildfires in Chile, Viña del Mar region. 131 people have been reportedly confirmed dead, while hundreds are missing, still missing, remain missing. These wildfires, as you can see in the circle, people in California might relate to these wildfires being in such a hilly valley area. It is a terrible acceleration to a wildfire that's already taken hold to an area. It goes swiftly. The videos that I've seen, news, these wildfires are taking over, and it's beginning difficult to fight them back. While I was waiting to see, usually I wait to see if I can actually see the fires, the flames, using satellite Sentinel-2 or Sentinel-1, Sentinel-3. Nothing yet, but it isn't to say that I don't know where this is happening. It's happening right in the circle area. It is a very densely packed region filled with homes. So when you hear 14,000 homes were destroyed, how many homes is that? Those are individual streets, one lane at a time, each named a different lane. Talking about hundreds of homes, easy. It's just that little, I don't know, is that a peninsula or a raised plateau? Probably a blasted mountaintop they installed a damn colony on. Shouldn't use the word, C word. Now over here there has been fires reported. I don't want to, unless I show it on the screen, I don't want to just say it because I don't want to like, oh, it's coming from me. No, I've been looking at this. I think this is more like a, yeah, this is more region. The circle here, the fire is racing around. It's not just in one region. It just comes out, goes straight, comes out, especially going across valleys. Fire runs through it quick, runs around it, runs over it, starts making these like C marks, letter C, capital C. That's when you might start seeing a lot of smoke, because that's when the fire gets time and time to try again, and it can ignite some roots. And roots ignition on a hillside is detrimental to the structural integrity of the hillside. So you get a lot of landslides that follow, and the destruction of tree roots and other plants that are literally holding up some of these valleys. So we saw flooding in California and some of the homes that are in precarious positioning they find themselves in due to flooding. But this, I don't think it would have to be what happened in New Hampshire to show flooding up on satellite. like the way that I see satellite, the way that what I have access to, it that flooding in I'm sorry, Vermont. It was Vermont. Montpelier, I believe. Yeah. That flooding happened because you see it all in a valley and it leads out to a lake. So that whole valley just, because Vermont got months of rain in a short period of time, which is something you will hear more and more as the year continues. I've lived here for 40 years and I've never seen this much rain. Okay, there's probably a reason for that, but nobody really wants to believe it yet. Or just deep down they understand it and they just, it sucks for the younger generations. Lied to us and stole it from them. Oh well. As we were going here in Viña del Mar. Okay, this is. Alright, this is CNN Brazil. Translates that death toll from forest fires in Chile rises to 131. The worst natural tragedy since an earthquake in 2010. The death toll from forest fires in central Chile has risen to 131. Sorry, I said northern Chile earlier. I was just looking at northern Colombia. I'm getting everything mixed up today. Death toll from the forest fires in central Chile has risen to 131, officials said on Tuesday, as firefighters struggle to contain raging blazes near the coastal cities of Viña del Mar and Valparaiso. Now, I do not speak Portuguese. I'm using a translation program. The authorities are asking people in the area to avoid leaving their homes and using their vehicles so as not to create traffic jams and prevent emergency crews from getting through. That is the latest news I could find regarding this national tragedy that's unfolding within Chile. U.S. today, Chile wildfires death toll rises, hundreds remain missing. Updated today, not late enough. Okay, here. 3,000 homes have burned in the Valparaiso area. That is. Valparaiso is right here. Valparaiso. 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 I hope I'm saying that right. But thousands of homes have been destroyed in this area alone too. So 14,000 homes. You see how tightly packed everything is. It's a very dense population. Pretty much living on top of blasted mountainscapes and coastal communities. Thousands of homes. Where is the article with? There we are. I already had it up. So maybe in a day or two I'll be able to update, but definitely do not see that as it stands, where you're using Maxar technologies. You know, they're getting a real satellite image. This is right perspective. And right where we are, we're not too far off. Copy this. Okay, take this image here. Back here. This wildfire is a lot bigger, so I will be able to see this wildfire in the next updates of these scans. As of right now, no. Usually takes some time, depending. 2 to 4 days. This is 131 people have perished, and hundreds remain missing. This is Chile's worst wildfire disaster, and their worst disaster since an earthquake in 2010. We at least were able to cross-reference what news has. What publication was that? Is that Guardian? CNN, Brazil. Using false color, yeah. These, see how hugely packed and dense populations are. Due to the terrain, it's only so few places, so few ways to evacuate. Wow. You see this on the left side here. These are all burned homes. Homes that look just like this. Homes that look just like that. Fire just torches. This is a really high resolution they're able to get here. See how fire takes over. Striking before and after. Talking like hundreds of kilometers, square kilometers. Terrible. A lot of pollution, brush fires, wildfires go into the homes, businesses, residences. Yeah, this is in the correct area that we're looking at here, but Huey, that is dangerously close here. This fire is right here in Olives Valley. You got the river that runs here. All these valleys and ridges. You trap people in these cul-de-sacs, these enclaves of population. These wildfires are still going on. Let me see. Yeah, Guardian has the latest here that I can see for the timestamp. Fires in Valparaiso said to be the country's deadliest disaster since 2010 earthquake. The death toll from wildfires that ravaged central Chile for several days has risen to 131, and more than 300 people remain missing as the blazes appear to be burning themselves out. That is good news. Fires burning themselves out. The fires in the Valparaiso region are said to be Chile's deadliest disaster since an earthquake in 2010. Officials have suggested that some of the fires could have been lit intentionally. President Boric announced during a visit in the region that furniture used for the 2023 Pan American Games would be donated to victims. He said the government would also forgive the water bills for 9,200 affected homes. Pittance. These people fled with nothing. They had no time. They either stayed behind a bunch of stuff and died, or they got to safety. I'm talking about fires that can melt steel. These people had barely a chance, or seconds, sometimes maybe a minute. The Forensic Medical Service has said that many bodies recovered from the fires were difficult to identify, but forensic workers would take samples of genetic material from people reporting missing relatives. This is looking terrible. That's the audio.
Trabajando en el lugar. Que no lo han podido controlar. Hay aviones, helicópteros, trabajando en el lugar. Carro bomba. Mucho fuego y humo. Creo que no lo han podido controlar.
These are those cliffs that we were talking about earlier, blasted plateaus and peaks. Fire absolutely ripped through these communities horribly. Flattened homes. Sort of looks like a tornado trail. I guess is either way. It is disaster everywhere. 14,000 homes have been destroyed in Chile, in central Chile. 131 people missing, and I'm seeing between 300 to 400 people remain. 131 are confirmed dead. 300 to 400 remain missing. These people that live in this area had to run with nothing. They might have not had their phone, might have not had a way to contact somebody. A lot of chaos that has to sort out, and communications always aren't the easiest during times of disaster. But if somebody had to literally run out of the house in their pajamas because of a wildfire that's right on their doorstep, they don't have time to grab their phone. If they grab their phone, they might not make it. We're seeing a lot of homes here that a lot of people reporting missing relatives. It's not just people feared missing, it's people being reported as missing. It's a bit of a difference. Like, okay, well, there's at least 500 people that were here that are missing. It's actual people being reported missing. That's tragic. From BNO News. This was February 4th. I think a firefighter could spend a day on a giant tree and its roots, put it out. What do we hope to accomplish in the face of this? Hotshot Wake Up says update Florida, Chile.
Todo tranquilo. Vamos, el auto, el auto. Cierren todas las ventanas. Ya nos vamos. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo. Oh my god, that's a home right there. Five days after wildfires tore through the crowded communities, fueled by winds and a brutal heat wave, firefighters are still searching for victims. Volunteers have been helping clear streets left strewn with charred cars, debris, and ash after the world's third deadliest wildfire this century, which left some 20,000 people homeless. "14,000 homes have been destroyed." They say that these wildfires are
Abajo, ¿qué? El troncal abajo, ¿qué?
It's just a firestorm. There's a point in every storm that makes up in the firestorm. You see firenadoes, but the wind blowing literal fire everywhere is absolutely terrifying. That will ignite anything. That will ignite gas tanks, that will ignite fuel tanks, that will ignite pretty much everything. That's what we see in these areas. Like, how does a fire cross the river anyway? You see it like this. This river isn't going to stop nature in this fashion. This is an incineration. This rains down hell. People driving in it, you can see it, the negative effect of their wheels leaving behind heavy marks. And it's just a firestorm. Firestorm like that, it can get hundreds of degrees. And those little embers you see could be several hundred degrees in temperature as well. evacuation. Chilean police officers evacuating people and pets. That's one ashy looking dog. The dog hopefully is okay. What's left?
Está fuerte el calor. Oh, hombre, está, pero... Se están cayendo los árboles. Se van a reventar los neumáticos, ¿no? Cuidado, hay que seguir luego. Vamos bien, tranquilos, vamos bien.
Tranquilo.
Quedamos encerrados, cuidado acá. Cuidado, chiquillo, acá, pongan la estructural, pongan la estructural. ¡Cuidado, Davidito! ¡Avanza, avanza! ¡Avanza! ¡Está lleno de gente! ¡Está lleno de gente! ¡Hay gente! ¡Hay gente acá en la micro!
That bus full of people.
Fuerte el calor. ¡Se cayó el árbol! Oh, hombre, está, pero...
Thank God. Everything's on fire. Everything explodes. Debris. The wind carries away. Resident quickly.
Quedamos encerrados, cuidado acá. Cuidado, chiquillo, acá, pongan la estructural, pongan la estructural. ¡Cuidado, Davidito!
Looks like a vehicle.
¡Está lleno de gente!
These wildfires create their own weather. Fires burning. It's a bus.
¡Hay gente acá en la micro!
12 hours ago.
¡Vamos, vamos, vamos!
This is footage filmed in the Chilean coastal resort city of Viña del Mar on Sunday. Today is Tuesday the 6th. This was Sunday the 4th. Video from the 4th. Definitely looks like the area. It's an absolutely raging inferno. The wind shows this much more sinister side, as wind's always going to go blow a fire into a wildfire. The conditions are there, and their
Quiero decir que
conditions are correct.
la emergencia no ha terminado nada,
You like
no ha bajado, estamos en la primera etapa de preparación a la
let us
emergencia.
speak.
Yo sé que han pasado ya 2 días y existe una suerte de percepción en la comunidad de que ya pasaron los días bajo la emergencia y el fuego probablemente bajó. Esa no es la situación, está completamente activa la emergencia, por lo tanto hago un llamado a todos los vecinos a que si reciben la información y la alerta SAE puedan estar al pendiente y evacúen.
Does this have Portuguese translation for me? Let me check. Oh, I think it does. That works.
Un llamado de que la emergencia no ha terminado nada, no ha bajado, estamos en la primera etapa de preparación a la emergencia. Yo sé que han pasado ya 2 días y existe una suerte de percepción en la comunidad de que ya pasaron los días bajo la emergencia y el fuego probablemente bajó. Esa no es la situación, está completamente activa la emergencia, por lo tanto hago un llamado a todos los vecinos a que si reciben la información y la alerta SAE puedan estar al pendiente y evacúen.
Not working. I'd have to download the video separately. I'm sorry if I scratched up the mic a lot. Just trying to hold the mic up to her to my translator gimmick to get it done, but it won't run out of my speakers for some reason. People on the rooftops trying to put out fires in the home, but electrical fires, look at all these power, how smoke damage on this. Right here is completely just poop. Valparaiso. Since February 2nd, intense fires have devastated entire neighborhoods in the coastal region of Valparaiso. It is flattened. Fire destroyed everything. You know, and these firestorms that rage, they're different than the wildfires that I normally look at, because these are very, very fast moving and very, very hot. People trying anything to put out a fire. Everything becomes a hazard. This kind of fire you're talking about, just the immense amount of heat and pressure you're applying onto a lot of sources that contain fuel. When you have to be aware that there's a gas tank there, there's a fuel can there, there's a 6,000 gallon propane tank there in the block. These are a lot of things you start looking at, pay attention in times where they have a greater chance to explode. As in fire that just seems to coat everything and burn it. Burn the paint off cars, melt the tires into the street, melt the car onto the street permanently as a fixture. And the homes are raised completely. If they're not made out of stone or metal, even some steel houses are just probably just aluminum, so they already have a low melting point. With this kind of intense heat, these kind of fires that we're seeing, it's This could definitely melt steel in a lot of places that I've been seeing. You've never melted steel before. It might be something to look at online, not to do, but just to watch the physics change. Different kinds of metals, especially aluminum, it just turns into a puddle. You get aluminum fixtures and stuff, it just turns into a dangerous, drippy metal puddle, boiling hot.
Evacuated. At least 7,000. At least 10 people have died in wildfires raging through Chile. Out of control forest fires are sweeping through homes, forcing entire towns to be evacuated. At least 7,000 hectares of land have been burned in the coastal region of
Wow, this is such an
Valparaiso,
early report.
while about 150 wildfires have been reported countrywide. High temperatures and strong winds are being blamed for the rapid spread of the fires. Authorities have issued a state of emergency.
This is insane. Everything is smoke damage, you can't breathe this. You have to. Chile, within minutes, world erupted in a hellish fire. Abraham Mardones, with just a clothes on his back, miraculously managed to escape the epicenter of the deadliest wildfires in Chile's recent history. Still shaken by the charred bodies he saw inside the crumbling houses in his Villa Independencia neighborhood of Vina del Mar, the 24-year-old welder and university student has left devastated. My neighbors were burned to death, he said, recalling how he covered one of their corpses. The fire consumed everything, memories, comfort, homes. I was left with nothing but my overalls and a pair of sneakers that were given to me as a gift. I could only rescue my dog. Mardones lived with several relatives in a row of 4 houses. While their lives were saved, they lost everything else. As evening fell Friday, today is Tuesday as of this recording. As evening fell Friday, wind-whipped flames raced over the crowded hills, the coastal city of Vina del Mar, and other areas of the Valparaiso region. Mardones and other residents were flooded by gusts of incandescent wind. To date, there have been 112, for now. I have neighbors who were burned to death, friends who had passed by driving a truck carrying the burned bodies of their brother, their father, their daughter. There was nothing we can do. This was an absolute chaotic inferno. Terrifying. Picture of that looks like the region. Very horrible. emergency was declared Sunday. Awful. All right. I will end the stream here. I thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you liking the stream and subscribing to the channel. Take care.